Hi all, my name's Rob Turner. Just going to talk about Sorare um, and things I've sort of learned just for a little bit. And hope you like the video. If you do, put a thumbs up. If not, don't put a thumbs down. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about a few things because I've been on platform now since about start of the year. Bought cards maybe February-ish and sold loads, bought loads, having fun on the platform. Um, and yeah, I just think it's a really fun game. One thing what I have done is I've ended up buying a lot of Mexican players, and that's sort of resulted because at the start I was buying like Euro and Challenger Europe players, and I was having like loads of fun watching the games come in. But now, because I've got a lot of Mexican players, they tend to be through the night, and it's more of one of them things when you wake up in the morning you just look at the results and see what your scores are. And I think I'm definitely gonna start buying more European players just to get the matches coming up on the phone so I can watch them. Scores come in, but that's one thing you can look at like certain leagues like Mexico where you can get a bit more value for your buck and go in there and pick up a lot of decent players around. If you're looking for rares around the £100 mark, and you can easily put a team out. Obviously, the keepers have sort of jumped up in price. When I bought like Atlas keeper Vargas when he just come on the platform, I think he cost me about £170. Now he's like touching £1,000, which is a bit ridiculous. Because I tell you one thing, I wouldn't be paying £1,000. I know he's an informed keeper at the moment, but I still wouldn't be paying £1,000 for a 32-year-old keeper. But let's digress. First thing I want to talk about, Lionel Messi. Over 10,000 followers on Sorare, which is a bit crazy for a player who isn't a card for yet. But if you click on his name, you will see that there is no picture. People are talking that Paris Saint-Germain's cards are coming out soon. I'm afraid to say it doesn't look like the Lionel Messi one will be with the big release if it comes on the platform in the next couple of weeks. But hopefully it will. But just if you're saving a lot of ETH for Lionel Messi, you might be waiting a bit longer potentially. Might not. They might. I'm sure that that's the one card if they can push anyone through, and if they have to push anyone through, you know, I think so. Rare team are going to be looking at Lionel Messi because he's going to be expensive. But I just wanted to just let everyone know that, potentially if Paris Saint Germain come on, in the next few days, then Lionel Messi might not be there. They will be bringing him out shortly after, I imagine, but my initial impression is that he will not be there. Next thing I want to talk about is stacking. Yeah, we hear it all the time now, but not that type of stacking. See, stacking to me is stacking two of the same players. And then if they have a good game, you've got two players with two good scores in two teams. So what I think is if you find someone good value, I mean, this is what I found with a Mexican team. You can get a good midfielder who puts up, 50s in last 40 games. They've got a good average, and you can pick them up. You can pick them up for, £80 to £100 for a midfielder. So what I think is, I'm just quite happy to get a couple of them. I don't know if it's better to spend £160 on a player and get one slightly better average, or is it better to stack two of the same player? I don't know. Me personally, I like to get a couple of a player, especially when they're young, because I think, well, potentially next season, if I've got one from last season and one from this season, then hopefully I can get the percentages up to the 10%. But I definitely look at stacking the same player, especially especially like when you're just starting. So if you think you've got a good player, I definitely buy two of them. You've done your research, maybe when you just randomly buy in, then yeah, just get one, and once you've played with them for a bit, you might get tempted to get another. I do. I've got three of certain players and two of certain players. I don't even have that many cards, but you know, I like I mentioned Mexico. I think it's good value. I've got quite a lot of Atlas and Santos Laguna players, and they're all players who I started to like now. So I like to have, for my favourite players in each team, a couple of them players. And obviously then when they've got games, I spread them out. I can usually cover 3 or 4. Well, I usually can put like 4, maybe 5 teams out. So I can do my global and my American, and you know slowly as I build a few more players up and hopefully win a few more cards, then I can branch off into like what I want to do and go into Europe. But even when I do go into Europe, I will be buying two of the same players and putting hopefully in a D4 and a D3 team. Once I can afford a couple more super rares, then yeah, all good. But yeah, let's move on to another topic. So I want to talk about winning cards, because everyone has theories how to win cards. But basically, if you're buying players and selling them and buying and selling and keep trading, buying and selling, you'll find that on average, most of your players are not getting trained up and not getting higher percentages. So basically, when you do get to the sort of level of card that you want to buy, so depending on your budget, but if like for me, if I buy someone for 150 or £200, I know it's not loads of money, but it is and it isn't. It depends who you are. But I now, from what I've learned, I would just, if I know he's a good scorer, if I know he's going to be a first teamer and he's got a few years on him, so probably if he's under 26, I will be looking to buy this player, keep this player, you know, train him up, get him to get that extra bonus. If you buy someone now at like the start of the season ish, potentially at the start of next season when the new cars get issued, you might have been able to train him up to 11%, 12%. And then next season, when the new cars get issued, you can buy another one, and then you've got that one, and then by end of that season, it should be getting up to like 8 or 9% the one from last season. So you're still getting a good percentage out of him, and your other one will have done the same. But when they start getting higher percentages, that's when you're playing that team. That's when you're gonna start winning cards. If you're putting a team out, which is, you've bought a few last season cards and season cards, and if you're only averaging maybe 4% across your percentages, it's such a disadvantage to someone who has kept the same cards and gone up to 7 and 8%. So it Sorare is all about patience and trusting your player, and when they go through that down bit and dropping value, it's not to cut them out and sell them. Just stick with them, train them. You don't have to always put them in a team. Just put them into your global D4 to make ETH. Keep training them up. Get that percentage up. That's how you win cards. Well, as long as it's a player who can put them good scores. It is horrible when maybe someone gets like a big injury. Maybe then you can sell them. But I just think once you've made a decision to buy someone, there's a reason you're buying him. Stick with them. Let the percentages grow this season, next season. They're young enough, and they do them scores in the locker. They're gonna start, winning your cards. And sooner or later, once you can trust them again, put them in your team. But yeah, they're just a few little things I want to talk about. I'm Bobby T _85 if you want to follow me, and I will follow you back. I'll try and make a video once every month or something. One thing what I'm trying to do now is I'm going to try and buy limited cards for maybe do a team which all the players cost under £10. maybe try and do another team where all the players cost under £20, or maybe do a bit of both.